All right, it's time to look at 10 prospects at the Senior Bowl that the Vikings could be looking at. All right, Senior Bowl in about 25 hours from now. We know the Vikings defense was dog shit this year, so I'm going to be absolutely looking all over this defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk 5 players apiece that the Vikings hopefully are looking at.
Spoiler alert, we may have the same guy on one of these, so it might only be 9. But you know what? That's all right. That's all right. Yes, the Vikings defense, horseshit last year. Absolutely horrible. I think they finished 30th in the league. Just not good. It's been bad for 2 years. Needs a lot of help, a lot of fixing. Kwesi's got his work cut out from him on that side of the ball.
He sure does. In the movie Shawshank Redemption, they refer to horseshit as a horse apple, which I always love. That is a petrified horse apple. Speaking of horse apple, get your butts on, subscribe to the channel, like the video here every damn day, talking Vikings. But today we're talking Vikings and NFL draft. I'm going first. Here we go. Defensive tackle, defensive end, Logan Hall from Houston. Dude is a technician. He's putting on a display. Pretty much everyone I picked seems to be having some very, very good days at Senior Bowl. So spoiler alert there, but he's putting on a display, variety of pass rushing moves. You could play this guy anywhere along the defensive line. I think with the Vikings, he'd be a beautiful 3-tech you put in and get his ass after the quarterback. His first 3 years at Houston, 1 sack. Last year, 6 of them. Logan Hall, come on down.
Kept saying putting on a display. I once put on display for a science class, volcano that exploded, and I got really bad grade on it.
Yeah, it sounds like it was piss poor and not much effort into it. Unlike Logan Hall's effort. He's 6'5", 278, by the way. He's a big man.
The thing that jumps out at me about him is his versatility. You'd love to see that play, not even just like if you need to plug him in D-tackle in base situations, but, passing downs, move this guy inside. He's got some pass rush ability, really gives you 3 to 4 defensive ends on the field at one time. So Logan Hall, definitely a guy I'll be keeping an eye on. Another guy I'm going to keep an eye on is a safety. We need a safety. I don't know if Hitman's going to be here next year or not, but we do have young Cam Bynum, who I'm very excited about, much more than I was when we took him on draft day. How about Kirby Joseph? This guy, 6'1", 190 pounds. What I love about him, I love defensive backs that are former receivers. It helps them understand routes, helps them understand what the offense may be doing in a certain situation. I think it gives them an advantage. And Kirby is a former wide receiver. 116 total tackles. Last year, 5 interceptions after having none in his career. This guy exploded onto the scene. He's got some hands. So, he's depth. I'll have to start if you draft this guy. Maybe eventually he works his way into a starter position.
Let's get one thing straight. There's only one Kirby that belongs in Minnesota, and he was already here.
Well, maybe the McDonald's will start doing the puck pack again if we get Kirby Joseph.
Puck pack at McDonald's. We got to realize that the future may not have Harrison Smith there. As much as it hurts, as much as it's going to trigger in the comments saying we'll never get rid of him, anything is possible, which means Harrison Smith got Cam Bynum. I love Kirby. Let's talk about the big name. This guy is just – it's what everybody's talking about the Senior Bowl. Jermaine Johnson, defensive end, Florida State. This draft class has some very, very good edge rushers, very good defensive linemen, and Jermaine Johnson is making himself some cashish today. We all know about him. I'm going to give you some quotes just from Twitter from from draft gurus. Quote, so much violence. And this is about his time at Senior Bowl. So much violence. JJ making himself a lot of money. JJ is ruining the Senior Bowl. They said he's ruining the Senior Bowl. I think he's making people look very bad. 11.5 sacks last year. He is from Minnesota, from Eden Prairie,
Nice.
Former JUCO player, went to Georgia, then to Florida State. This guy is making a lot of money, and anybody who gets him, he's going to be a day one impact starter.
Yeah, I wonder how far he's going to ascend because I think he's looked as a fringe first rounder, and now he's going to shoot way up boards. I mean, this potentially could be the guy who the Vikings are looking at pick 12 when it's all said and done. What I love best about him, he got hurt, and he's going to come back and he's going to play in the actual game. I mean, that's how bad this guy wants to be on the field. A lot of guys get hurt the Senior Bowl, they're done. Boom, I'm out. He's going to come back and play in a meaningless game because that's who he is. He's JJ freaking Johnson, Minnesota blood running through his veins. And I'm excited about this guy.
Pumping. We'll see how much he plays.
Oh, he's gonna wreck the game.
Quinn
too.
Miners last year, same thing. He's like, I'm gonna play. Coaches didn't let him.
Yeah, you know what? I think JJ says what JJ does.
JJ, make him pay. Who else you got?
I got linebacker. Another need for the Vikings. Eric Kendrick's future. Who knows? We already know Barr's going to be gone. Is Kendrick's going to be a cut guy too? Here's a guy we could look at. Jojo Dolmen. This guy He's rangy, 208 total tackles in his career, 3 interceptions, 15 pass breakups. So this is a guy who can cover receivers, cover tight ends. He got that experience. And you want a versatile guy. This guy, he's played linebacker, defensive back. You know where else he's even played?
The defensive tackle.
On the offensive line.
Hell yeah.
He could be linebacker / guard for the Minnesota Vikings. Jojo, get on board with him.
Jojo, speaking of linebackers, yesterday, East-West Shrine game last night, my boy Jack Sanborn had himself a game. Not too shabby.
Not surprised to hear that one bit.
I got no linebackers on my list. I should, but I don't. I'm going safety as well. Jalen Petrie Dish from Baylor, 6 foot, 197. Ideally, he would be a little bit taller. That seems to be his real knock. Good run stuffer. He's a safety that can do it all. They lined up this guy everywhere. I got it somewhere. He had 8 sacks in his college career, 4 interceptions. Diamond in the rough, jack of all trades. Anything you read about him, it says jack of all trades. Jack of all trades. He can do it all. And we know our secondary is going to need a lot of help, and a guy that can play in the slot, a guy that can play safety, a guy who can get after the quarterback, someone you can move all around gets me very excited. Jalen Petrie.
Seems versatility is the theme of this episode.
It is. We need some guys on defense that can do it all.
Not only can they do it all, I want to see them used in different ways. Zimmer quit. He didn't do that. Let's get fancy. Let's move these guys around. Let's confuse offenses. Oh my God. Kirby Joseph's playing defensive tackle. What are the Vikings doing?
Sounds like the defensive coordinator should be fired.
Well, he won't be fired if we get this guy. You got to have fallback options. You're going to address one position in round 1, whether that's a cornerback, a defensive end, a safety, a linebacker, a quarterback. You got to have options that you like in the second round who could potentially start. And this guy, defensive end from Cincinnati, is definitely one of them. Maija Sanders, I call him Miyagi because I've been watching a lot of Cobra Kai lately. And I got to honor the greatest man ever come out of Okinawa, Japan, in Mr. Miyagi. So Miyagi Sanders, that's what I'm calling him. 6'5", 255 pounds, 13.5 career sacks. This guy absolutely ejaculates out of his stance. Great bend. Get around those tackles that try to stop him. No chance when it comes to Miyagi. He will Miyagi them right off their feet. And he's been super impressive down on mobile. All his defensive end groups. This is a deep group. So I think you could wait into round 2, maybe in round 3, get a quality guy who you can groom to be a starter. I think Miyagi Sanders is definitely one of those guys.
You know what round we won't get him in? Round 4. We have Chris Herndon. But yes, the defensive end, that's why unless somebody's really there at pick 12, I wouldn't mind waiting a round or 2. You're going to get some very, very good players on the edge. I got one edge rusher, but I'm going to go with the same guy we got. We got Travis Jones, UConn defensive tackle, 6'4", 326 pounds. Another guy who is making his way up the charts. He is everything you see. He's done everything very, very good. I don't think he's going to be a guy that absolutely wows you, but he's doing his job and he is winning all of his battles. Takes on double teams. This guy is just going to free up space. He is a ginormous man, and he's going to be able to take up space. Let these other guys get after the quarterback. He does the dirty work.
I call him the bull moose. He's just a big old moose of a man.
You got nicknames for all these guys.
I'm really creative.
You say bull moose?
He's the bull moose, is what he is.
I take it back. I do like it. Bull moose.
I wouldn't be upset if we took Jordan Davis at 12, the big old guy from Georgia. Not a huge need, but that guy is just so massive. Plug running links. But if you don't get him, then Travis Jones is your backup option there. A guy, I think, like you said, he shuts down those lanes, clogs things up. He's like a big old turd that just gets stuck in the toilet. You can't flush anymore. That's what he is. And he's been so impressive. He can collapse the pocket, destroy interiors of lines. This guy could be a huge get for whatever team is able to get him. And I don't know where he's going to end up. I feel like he's going to be a day 2 guy and probably pretty early.
Yeah, they kind of say second, third round. Now he's having a good Senior Bowl, but defensive tackles are always that position where they get projected really high, and all of a sudden they're undrafted in round 6.
Well, you look at like Sheree Floyd, who's like top 5 pick, fell to us, almost 20s back in the day.
Finally, my last guy, gotta go with the Gopher, Boye freaking Mafe, edge rusher, 265, 6'4". 15 career sacks for the Gophers. The guy is an athletic freak. We saw it with the Gophers. We're going to see it at the Combine. We're going to see it at the East-West or Senior Bowl game. This is his moment. He is going to be one of those edge rushers that draft stock just goes up and up and up. He's probably not a guy you're going to have out there on 3 downs. He's going to be a guy that you put out there and say, just go get the quarterback. Some fine day that might happen, but he's a guy, he could run in the 4 or 5s. And a team that is just looking for a situational pass rusher is going to be all over Boye Mafe. Still needs to develop, but he can get that quarterback.
Yeah, and with the new guy making the picks, making the calls, we can now put Minnesota Gophers back on the Vikings' radar. Rick Spielman, no way he was going to draft a Gopher. No way in hell was he going to do that. But now, Kwesi, I think it's open. I wouldn't be surprised if we took a Gopher, and I love it if it was Mafe.
It's going to be interesting because in this deep class of edge rushers, a guy like Mafe could just slip through the cracks a little bit and snap him up.
I like the way you're thinking. All right. Another huge need for Minnesota Vikings is the cornerback position. And I don't know why. I guess I just focused on Cincinnati today. Sauce Gardner gets all the love, but there's another guy back there who's pretty damn good himself. That is Kirby Bryant. Yes, that Kirby Bryant. Not that Kirby Bryant, but 9 career interceptions. Versatile. This guy can also play some safety. He'll come up. He will smack you. I'm not sure where he's going to fall when this is all said and done, but one thing I know, when he's the Viking, he makes an interception. We can all yell, Kobe!
Yes, we can. Colby, Kirby, we got a lot of names. Boye, I can't wait. Let us know in the comments which players you're going to be watching, which players you want the Vikings to draft out of this group, or just what you're having for lunch. Can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. And this fact comes from our friend, Ellis Gregor. Sent me some facts. This one is very interesting. He said religious sites carry more malware than porn sites.